Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd, and it's the end of October. Fall is in full freaking swing. The leaves are falling, the landlord's lawnmower just stopped, and like usual, at the end of every month, I'm going to talk about some of the albums that impressed me over the past 30 days. And let me tell you, music freaking blew up this month, man. Not only did I go back and kind of catch up with some records from maybe a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago or so, that I didn't get a chance to review, I wanted to review, and then ended up loving. And there were just a lot of releases this month that were freaking impeccable. So let's just start off with what I have reviewed this month. Links to reviews and songs from these records are in the description box, description bar, description thing of this video. And here we go. For one, the new Deerhoof LP, Breakup song. Deerhoof comes through with yet another surprise, eccentric, colorful, playful little indie noise pop record, and it's an album where it's pretty much like their first electronic album, incorporating not only electronics and beats but synthesizers, samples, MIDI as well, to just kind of make these songs come together. And it's not really a huge stylistic change for Deerhoof, though it is different sonically for the band. They use all of these instruments and sounds to kind of come together with the same quirky, strange, and very angular pop stylings that they typically do. Alt J, a creative little art pop record with some eccentric vocals but very well written songs. I took a while to kind of warm up to this LP, kind of waited around for the American release to come up until I really kind of dove into it and gave it a decent listen. And yeah, at the end of the day, while it's not going to be one of my favorite records of the year, this, for a debut album, is extremely, extremely impressive. Next, Godspeed. Allelujah, Don't Bend, Ascend. The Canadian post-rock band's first full-length album in about 10 dang years, and I was absolutely impressed by it from the start. And I mean, you know, these guys did a comeback the way you should do a comeback, though I, wish that the album wasn't so chock full of older material that is now being recently performed and released. I'm just hoping that they're kind of getting some of this stuff out of the way for a new album just consisting completely of original and brand new material. But still, considering that a lot of this stuff on this LP is older, it's still awesome. 2 20-minute monster tracks, 2 drones on here as well. It's an intense and uplifting as well as epic listen. Next, Death Grips, No Love, Deep Web. Definitely a very noticeable sonic change for Death Grips on this new record. Kind of stripping back a lot of the noise, stripping back a lot of the samples, using a lot of electronic drum sounds on here, turning the synths up and letting MC Ride do his thing up front and center with some more audible lyrics. If for some reason you're yet to hear of Death Grips and you're just looking for some strange, experimental, and just out there hip hop, give it a try. It's a free album. Download it. Next, Tame, Impala, Lonerism. If you're talking psych rock, you're talking psychedelic pop, this is easily my most favorite record of the year. I mean, the sounds on this thing, so lush, so colorful. The songs are pretty solid on this LP as well, which is to be expected from Tame Impala. The Beatles influence does dampen things a little bit, but the production and just the playing on this thing is so good. It's just kind of mouth-watering how just wondrous a lot of the sounds are on this LP. Next, Converge, freaking All We Love, We Leave Behind. A solid, great, stellar metalcore record with strong elements of post-hardcore shining through on a lot of these tracks. Converge definitely toned their sound down a little bit on this LP, just sounding a lot less noisy and cacophonous to bring some clarity into the fold. While I don't think people are going to be celebrating this record on the level that they have Jane Doe, this is certainly a high point for the band. Next, Karriem Riggins, Alone Together, a great great collection of hip-hop instrumentals from a guy who has collaborated with m.A.A.d, J Dilla, and has been just making hip-hop, and is also a jazz drummer, making hip-hop for years. It just so happens that he's, coming out with his full-length debut now. It's a collection of 34 little tidbits, some of which are just strange, other funky, some jazzy, soulful, bubbly, experimental. I mean, the guy is really a mad scientist when it comes to production. And finally, the new Bad Plus album, Made Possible. These guys are a musical trio blending elements of rock, pop, jazz fusion, experimental music, and on this LP as well, electronic music with some synthesizers, strange electronic glitches, and drum machine beats occurring subtly throughout a lot of these tracks. And for me on this album, the viscera is there, the composition is there, just the performance and the playing is there. I wish the sound wasn't so thin as it tends to be, so bare as it tends to be on a lot of Bad Plus records, but man, I mean, this impressed me in a big way. And that's pretty much a rundown of my favorite records from this past month. A lot of albums, I mean, more than I usually end up mentioning at the end of a month. And man, this month's just been chock full of music, and I didn't even get to review everything I wanted to review. But what were some of your favorite records from this past month? What did you love? What did you hate? And why? Let me know. Let me know. Anthony Fantana, October, forever.